In this video, I do something super crazy and drive 6 hours to pick up a holy grail. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, I drive 6 hours to pick up my holy grail. That is right. It's going to be a crazy video today. This last weekend, I did an epic trip where I pick up a book that I've wanted in my collection for a very, very, very long time. And I'm going to show you guys my journey here today. But before I get into the footage with that, if you guys could drop me a like or a comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, help support the channel, doing those things, and I would appreciate it. All right. With that said, here is my journey of picking up the biggest purchase of my life. All right, I'm in the car now. I got my coffee. I don't know if you guys have Phil's outside of California, but highly recommend. I love going to Phil's. They're not a sponsor. But I am on the road. I am going up to Northern California. I'm going to be driving for 6 hours. What we do for our hobbies, man, so crazy. And you guys might be thinking, Swaggle, you're super crazy for driving 6 hours to go get a comic book. And you're probably right, but it's a really big book, so there's that. I'm also from Northern California, so after I go get this book, I'm gonna go visit my parents, which will be a nice thing to do as well. So I don't know how much of this footage I'm gonna use in this journey. Maybe we'll just skip to the good part, right? But I know that I've been driving for 6 hours. We are about 11 minutes away from our destination. It's been a crazy drive, but I cannot wait to show you guys what store I'm about to go to and what book I'm about to pick up. All right, guys, I just parked the car. I made it. We drove safely. It was a long trip, but we're finally here at a certain LCS. And you know, this LCS, they do a lot of claim sales, a lot of awesome claim sales on Instagram, and I happened to pop into one of them, and I saw a certain book that caught my eye. And during the sale, I actually didn't claim it. I was thinking about it, but I didn't claim it. But I gave it some thought. You know, the sale had ended. I gave it some thought, and I reached out to the LCS and I said, "Hey, do you guys still have that book? Would it be possible for me to claim it from you guys? I know it's not currently going on." But they were willing to save the book for me. I told them I would drive up and give them a visit and pick it up in person myself. And this shop, of course, is A1 Comics. I'm here in the Auburn location up in Northern California in the Sacramento area. And I'm going to pick up a big book, a big grail that I'm super, super excited. So let's go inside and I'll show you guys what I'm getting. We made our trip, we drove up, we're at A1. We got my good friend here, Wes. You guys may recognize him.
Hey, everybody.
All right, Wes, I spoke to you online.
Yep.
There was a certain book that I saw in a claim sale that you guys were doing. We talked about it offline.
Yep.
I said if I could do the offline claim, and you said that you would be willing to put it aside for me. And so I drove up, and I don't know if you want to show the guys what book I decided to make my A1 book.
It's a Turok 1.
Turok #1. Just kidding. The A1 book I'm picking up, guys, is A1. Avengers 1. Forever, my Avengers 1 will always be the A1 book. There it is. I can't believe it. Thank you, sir. This is actually like, we gotta take a moment because this is actually pretty crazy. I'm legit actually pretty shocked that I'm getting this right now. Like excited. Super, super excited.
Yeah.
Man, this is actually really cool. We're walking out with the book. All right, guys, I did it. I went up to A1 Comics in Sacramento, hunting the Grail. I found my Avengers 1, 2.5. Is it a perfect book? No, of course it's not a perfect book. But is it my not perfect book? You're damn right it's my not perfect book. So I just want to say, thank you to A1 and Wes for, being willing to hold this for me so I can make my way up here to pick up this book. I am so excited I have this. Like, honestly, I know I had just got the A4 the other day, but in this current market, I just knew I was like, I got to get this book while I can in this market, and I'm so glad I did. And guys, it's the A1 book. What can I say? This is incredible. Well, I made it back to Southern California, and so did my holy grail. Avengers #1, first appearance of the Avengers, the biggest book I've ever bought for myself in my entire life, the biggest purchase, gift of anything that I've ever wanted in my life, like whether it's a crazy watch or, an expensive, piece of furniture or something like that. I mean, I think that this might be the most expensive thing that I've ever bought for myself. Certainly that I've ever gifted myself. But Avengers #1, 2.5 grade. Again, this is just such an amazing thing. I mean, you guys could tell from my video how blown away I was. Earlier in the year, as you guys know, I made the determination that I was going to put together a Grail run of Avengers 1 through 100. And when I decided that I was going to do that, it became very clear to me that there were two particular books that I needed to really truly work towards and get my hands on if I was ever really going to have an opportunity to complete this run. And that was Avengers #4, which of course is the book I showed off to you guys right there. And the other book that I thought to myself that I needed to get was Avengers #1. And those were the ones that I had my goals, my heart set on, that I knew that, okay, these were the goals. And I earlier, when I had decided that I was going to get these two books, I put it down a number in my mind. I determined, I was like, okay, in order to get my hands on these two grails, this is probably what I feel comfortable spending. This is probably the number that I'm going to have to put out there in order to, be able to acquire these books. And for that reason, I had set aside that budget for myself to be able to, hop on an opportunity when it presented itself. And big shout out, thank you to the guys at A1. When they do their claim sales, they had this particular book show up in the claim sale, and I was in there. I was on Instagram looking for it, looking for opportunities to find books that I wanted, and they had this book. And at the time, I wasn't sure if I was ready to pull the trigger, but I reached out to the guys later on after the fact. I reached out to Wes and I asked them. I was like, hey, is that book still available? Can I make the claim now? If I pick it up in person, would you guys be willing to hold the book for me? And big shout out to them. They said, yeah, hey, we'll if you can make it out this weekend, we'll hold on to it for you, and the book can be yours. So I'm so happy that we were able to work it out, and now I have two grails that I have been able to acquire back to back in these weeks. And I know you guys probably think I'm crazy, but I was thinking back to the video I made about us being in a bubble. And I don't know if you guys out there have seen Moneyball, but one scene I think about in Moneyball is there's a scene with Billy Bean, and he's talking to Jonah Hill's character, and he asks him, he's like, hey, if you make this trade, Billy, you're going to get fired from your job. And then Billy looks at Jonah Hill's character and says, I think we're not asking the right questions here. He's like, do you believe in this thing or not? Do you believe in this thing or not? And then Jonah Hill looks back at him all stoic, and he's like, I do. And where I'm going with this is thinking back to my market bubble video. I really had to ask myself, do you really believe that this is not a bubble? Do you really believe that the prices are where they are right now and probably not going to fall back anytime soon? And the answer to myself was, I do. I really do believe that. And for that reason, you know, like having that conviction, that sort of gave me the push and the urgency that I set for myself, where I was like, you know what, I am just going to make these 2 books happen, even though it's a lot of money, and you know, it's definitely like, you know, a purchase I'm not used to making. I just knew that I was like, you know, now is the time. I just have to allot this budget to these books right now, because I don't want to miss the opportunity to get my hands on these, because if I am, you know, true to what I believe, I don't think that the prices for these books are going to decline anytime soon. So that said, I now have Avengers #1. I now have Avengers #4, and I am so happy I have them. And to me, it's like, even though there are other books that I need to get my hands on, you know, like first appearance of Black Knight and things like that, other big key books, first appearance of Vision, ultimately, like, to me, having these 2 books takes a lot of the pressure off. For me personally, a lot of the financial pressure off, because look, if later on I have to spend, you know, a decent amount of money to get my hands on the Black Knight book or the Vision book, it is what it is. But like, you know, I can be fairly certain that those books are never going to be anywhere near the prices that I had to put forward for this one. So for that reason, like, you know, just having this one in my personal collection, to me, I'm just like relieved. You know, I'm so happy that I have this Grail. And again, like, you know, is it a perfect book? Is it the best Avengers 1 you've ever seen in your entire life? No, of course not. But like, is it my Avengers 1? Yes, it is. And for that reason, I am so happy I got this book. So yeah. One more big boy down, guys. One more big boy down. We're close to our Grail run. And again, big shout out to A1 Comics. Thank you guys so much for holding on to this book for me and having it be, you know, the A1 book. I'm always going to remember this one as the A1 book, because this is A1, Avengers 1. A1 book. There you go. So I'm always going to have a special place in my heart for that store, of course, because I was able to, you know, go and visit in person and pick up the book. And, you know, and luckily, because they do their claim sales like they do, I was able to discover it. And, you know, hopefully I can circle back with those guys. You know, I'm actually really interested, and maybe for you guys, you would be interested in this as well. I want to actually learn a little bit more about the claim sale world. So maybe I'm going to get a chance to talk to them, and maybe I can do an interview eventually in a video one day with them, and hopefully make something happen like that, because I'd love to know more about where we're going right now in this market with claim sales, and what the future looks like with them. So anyways, that is all I have for this video. That was my journey picking up the most expensive book I've ever picked up in my entire life. My holy grail, Avengers #1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop me a like, comment, or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I will see you in the next video.